Well, we caught up with Leith Klondike, our TWRA officer here from Fayetteville, Lincoln County. And Leith, it's great that we've got Joe Theismann here today.
That's real interesting. I've never got to meet him. I remember one of his compatriots, Mr. Riggins, quite well, but I don't remember him real well. I was a young guy when all that was going on.
Tell everybody about how this all came about with Kids Hunting for a Cure.
Well, back I think in about the spring of 2007, we had been doing an event here, Don, for about at that time I think about 5 years that we were just calling the Juvenile Hunters Field Day. And that had blossomed and become a big thing, and we're sort of expanding out of the Flintville hatchery where we were at. It was getting a little big for that, and they were doing some construction projects there. This is something that Dr. John Waples out of Huntsville from Huntsville Hospital and Dave Norville from West Tennessee approached me one day and said, hey, how about this idea? And we worked with this idea of trying to use hunting to promote more hunting, which is, we're in the hunting business, and we want to do that. And also to try to wrap our minds around an idea to try to help raise money for childhood disease. Dr. Waples is an oncologist from Huntsville and deals with cancer, and that being something that saddens our heart to see any child with that we wanted to try to work towards that direction. So Kids Hunting for a Cure was grown out of the idea of trying to take hunter or sportsmanship and hunter heritage and use that to produce hope and awareness for these young kids and to try to raise some money for childhood disease research and development.
And today you're giving the check of $20,000 to St. Jude's. Tell how that came about.
Well, this is the funds, the proceeds from this last year's hunt, from the 2009 hunt. Also, we had tragically a member of our board here in the Fayetteville chapter that we had, Matt Malone, had passed away tragically. And deeply saddened and grieved by it. We wanted to do something to honor him and for his memory, so we decided that we were going to name the chapter in his name, and now it's the Matt Malone Memorial Chapter. And Matt's family asked that donations, that instead of buying flowers and such as that for the Matt's passing, to send those to Kids Hunting for a Cure. So this is a combination of those donations on Matt's behalf and the 2009 hunt, which was a big honor to Matt, I hope also.
Let's talk about how many kids got to hunt this year and a little bit about the hunt itself.
Well, the hunt itself is based around the juvenile deer hunt, and that's usually the last weekend in October. We actually we get landowners in the county are gracious enough to let us use their farmland to take the young people deer hunting on, and we find guides that are willing to take them. So what we do is we work to try to put special situations, because we want both the affected and unaffected kids. That's how you produce hope and awareness, is to let a kid see that there's another kid out there, and this kid may have terminal cancer, could have anything like that, but to also see that, you begin to be aware that those things are there, and also you see that they're not different, they're the same, and they can go hunting too. And we put those together in special situations with special guides and special land that, some land would be easier for someone with a disability to hunt. And all these people work together and do it for free graciously, and that's how we set the hunts up. And we actually set up over 100 kids this last year, I think, with individual guides, and some of them with cameramen, and then about 200 more just came on their own and participated in the hunt with us. And we have activities for them and stuff, and we've been doing this at the fairgrounds for 3 years now.
How did you raise $20,000?
Well, that's the hard part, because it's always hard to, as a wise man said, the well does run dry after a while. So it's you can ask people, and people are very generous in Lincoln County. I've always said this and over that, but you can ask too much. There's only so much that a community can financially do. So we got the idea to start looking outside the community to try to find things that we could auction off. So how we make the money is we auction off products or hunts or donations that come in through various means to us, and we auction those off one night of the hunt, either before or during the hunt in the evening time, and that's where we come up with the money that we donate.
And tell everybody about how Joe Theismann came into the loop. And we're here at the Bruce Long house today. Beautiful home on Malina Road, and big help there.
That's correct. And in fact, Bruce and Sandra, his wife, they were instrumental to this because they know Joe Theismann and his wife. They have a mutual place that they see each other each year on vacation. And Benny Bedingfield is a friend and hunting buddy of mine, old Big Ben, as most people know him. Ben had just had the opportunity to meet him and have dinner with him, and Ben taking every opportunity that he could. He mentioned to him about this. Well, Joe mentioned that he was on the board with St. Jude, and this that's how that culminated over a period of time. We ended up with this opportunity to stretch out a little bit and get our projects here known a little bit better.
The kids here are I'm sure, excited about meeting Joe Theismann, and he's a big hunter himself, it looked like.
Sounded like he knew a lot about wildlife. I was listening off in the eaves a little bit, but he was sounds like a good man. Definitely has a firm handshake. I don't think they could have got the ball away from him real easy, but good guy. And man, I can't thank him enough for what he's done today to come here.
Getting kids to hunt at an early age is a very important part of the TWRA.
It is very important because the trends in license sales are different nowadays. We're battling something different. There's my kids love to play Wii and those different types of things, and they're 5 and 7, but they know about the outdoors. But we sort of lost out on hunter heritage a little bit, and that's the new term for getting kids into hunting. But when I was a kid, it was pretty normal, and probably when you were too, Don, that you were exposed to it. But that's not so much nowadays. So we have to do a little bit extra to expose kids to the opportunities that are available to them out there. And I just believe in this. I believe that this is a good way. There's a bumper sticker on the back of my truck, state truck, that says, hunt with your kids, not for them. And I believe in that. I think that we learn a lot about ourselves when we take a little bit of quiet time. So that's why I really think that we need to continue this project now.
I thank you for all you do. I know the people at home, you work very hard, and you've got a tough job, but this is probably one of the better parts of what you do all the time.
You're right. This is a huge blessing in my job. It's, the job is great. Everybody should do what they enjoy doing, but this is definitely one of the highlights of doing it.
All right. Well, we're going to see if we can talk to the Joe Theismann here in just a moment. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate y'all coming. Thank you.
Dr. John Waples, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Tell us a bit about your part for Kids Hunting for a Cure.
Well, I'm one of the 3 founders. Leith Klondike, Super Dave Norvell, and myself started this organization, and we wanted to make a charitable, national organization that takes kids hunting and raise money for a good cause.
And what got you involved? And tell us a bit about what is Kids Hunting for a Cure.
Well, it's about kids, number one, and getting kids in the outdoors, having them have a great experience in the outdoors, whether it's hunting or fishing or whatever, but also teaching them the benefit of men coming together and helping people in need and raising money for great causes.
And you raised quite a lot of money today for St. Jude's. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah, St. Jude's is a great organization. We've been fortunate to give them donations before, and we're giving them a $20,000 check today.
And that's a lot of money, and that's something. Tell us a bit about how you raise that kind of money.
Well, we do it several ways. Primarily, though, it's through auction items that are donated at our events, and the day before, the day of the event when we take the kids hunting, we have an auction, and people bid on them, and they raise money that way.
Tell us about the future for Kids Hunting for a Cure. You got a lot of things coming ahead, I'm sure.
Yeah, we sure do. We're really excited. We're in several states now, including Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, Alabama, and Arkansas. And we're trying to expand. We're actually starting a division to help with expansion and help those organizations grow. And also we're going into kids fishing for a cure. So we're going to actually take kids fishing and try the same base.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for all you do for the kids, and thank you for what you've done today with St. Jude's.
All right, thanks for being here.
Right here. I feel like I'm talking to one person.
That's good.
I always looked at it that way. Like whenever I did television or whenever I do television today, it's like, well, there's one person out there I'll chat with, and turns out there are multi-millions of them. But if you can break it down into one, it makes it a little more comfortable from a conversational standpoint.
And we can say today, you're just talking to me.
I'm just talking to one. How about
This
that?
this is Joe Theismann. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Tom.
Thank you for coming to Fayetteville, Lincoln County. Tell us a little bit about how this came about.
Sandra and Bruce, whose house we're in here, we have a place down in Destin, Florida together, and she was talking to my wife Robin one day about the kids hunt that raises money for St. Jude's, and they'd like to make a presentation of a check to me to be able to send it to St. Jude's. And so we've tried to marry the schedules up, which have been difficult until this period of time, and it worked out that we were able to get down this way. And it's just unbelievable what everybody's done here in Lincoln County and in this Fayetteville area. There's so many different ways. You know, you think of golf tournaments and bake sales and all kinds of ways to raise money for St. Jude's. And yet now the kids are involved. We have a bunch of kids here as well. And it's just a wonderful thing to be able to see kids really helping kids, not just the parents, but the children helping less fortunate children that need their help.
Tell us about your involvement with St. Jude's.
I've been involved in St. Jude's for a number of years now. Been a member of their sports board for quite a while. Just a bunch of sports people that got involved and really care about the children. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and I try and get down and see the children on an annual basis to go and visit the kids. And, you know, you reach a point in life, you've been, you know, heck, they don't know who I am, or I don't think they do. And then all of a sudden you walk in and somebody says, yeah, well, I saw you on TV, or I saw you in a movie, or I saw this or saw that, and you think, wow, you know, you can make a difference. You can put a smile on someone's face. And I'm involved in a lot of different ways and capacities when it comes to raising money for St. Jude's. And when I really try and share with people, my daughter had open heart surgery when she was 3 years old. I think one of the greatest gifts we can do as adults is to give something back to children. Now, I hope everybody watching out there has their children are healthy and they're wonderful and never, ever need a children's hospital, never, ever need St. Jude's. But there's that possibility that it might happen in your life and you don't know when, if, or how. Wouldn't you like to know that there's a place out there where you feel like that your son, your daughter, your friend's son or daughter, your granddaughter, your grandson are going to get the best possible treatment, the best possible opportunity to be able to be cured or get well or live a full life? And that's what these contributions are all about. They're, you know, I call them insurance policies. For those of us that have, you know, gone through it and had someone go through the hospital experience, we know how important and how different. St. Jude's Children's Hospital is very different than a normal, you know, adult hospital. There are different needs. Everybody gets treated there. Not just the patient, which is the child, but the family as well. And those needs need to be met. And so for me to be able to be involved in it, for me to be able to come here today and accept the check on behalf of the hospital, it's just, I'm honored. I really am.
You're very good with kids, and it seems to me like you know a little bit about hunting too.
Very little. I'm not a hunter. I know one thing. I didn't wear my camouflage today. I felt really out of place today with all the kids, but I do a little bit of it. When I was a kid growing up, I did a little bit, and you know, I have a ranch. We have a ranch up north, and I've got more deer than I should have. I got more turkey than I should have, and I'll get out and try and shoot every now and then. But to me, it's a refuge to be able to go and get away from everything. And my friends are always saying, you know, hey Joe, you know, what about the deer population out there? You want to, you know, should we come out and thin it out a little bit? I said, well, I'm leaving for a week. What happens there when I'm gone, I have no control over. But I think it's great that, you know, there are other ways, like I say, to do it. I mean, there's different types of ways to be able to raise money, and this is one where, you know, the type of program that's here is you teach kids gun safety. It's a chance for people in Lincoln County to be able to donate and contribute their land. Obviously, there has to be a thinning out of the population. There's always a need of that. And it broadens, I think, their appreciation for the hunt itself, for the ramifications of it, being able to handle various weapons, whether it's through archery or through guns. So it's teaching as well as helping. And is there anything better than that? I don't think so.
Just like learning the fundamentals of football, which you had to learn growing up, and these people learning the fundamentals of hunting, and that's very important as well. And but I can't get off here without saying, you know, I went to see the movie Blind Side, and the first thing I saw was you. So.
Yeah, I'm the first 10 minutes of the movie. Actually, it's very interesting the way the whole thing came about. Michael Lewis, who wrote the book Blind Side, I had a chance to see it before it went to print, and we had a conversation about, you know, the left tackle position in football. And that's in essence, for the novice people or for people that don't understand the world of football, the offensive line are identified. The two furthest big guys outside are tackles. Most quarterbacks are right-handed. So if I drop back and I turn my back to the left side, that left tackle is considered my blind side. So if you're driving in a car and you know there's always that spot sometimes where you can't quite see the car or the vehicle that's there, that's your blind spot. Well, for us, it's our blind side because I'm turning this way looking down the field. I can't see what's going on. What happened to me is my leg wound up getting broken because somebody on the blind side didn't quite do their job. And it's a great movie. I think if anybody hasn't seen The Blind Side, you really want to, you should, because it's wonderful entertainment. You know, Sandra won an Academy Award for being the best actress, which she was in it. But it's a great story about perseverance, about sharing, about caring.
But it brought back a painful moment in your life.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what's funny. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the beginning of it. I mean, I watched the movie. I sat in the movie, and I went in a matinee, so there weren't a lot of people around. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking up, and all of a sudden I see the footage come on. I'm going, oh, okay, I know what's happening. I closed my eyes. I sat there, and I listened to the crowd go, ugh. I said, okay, I can open my eyes now. It's over. So I've only seen the injury once in 25 years. Wow. 5 years ago, I sat down with a reporter from the New York Times, and I looked at it for the first and last time. I officially will never see it again.
I don't really want to see it again either. It's a pleasure to see you.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming here to Fayetteville, Lincoln County, and I hope to see you again sometime.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I want to thank everybody for your contribution. You know, kids are very precious gifts that we're blessed with in our lives, and anything we can do to make their life better, I think is important.
Joe Theismann, thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks.
Good